All right. Let's go to the page number 115 on the booklet, the PDF. The last module for this one, which is the networks. And read the note, just a few things. Yeah, when you do the EST LST, use a calculator with the numbers and adding sub. Maybe there's smaller numbers you do, maybe 17 plus 3. Just time to calculator. Because sometimes we think, oh, we just quickly check them and we find the numbers. That's good to be fast. But if you do one mistake, to fix that is a disaster for the EST and LST. You have to redo the whole thing, isn't it? So that's hard. That's why every time, just type it in. Just say, okay, 17 plus 2 is 19. That's fine, it's 19. So then you write those three numbers, two numbers, then you do the EST, which one you pick usually. EST means like bunch of things coming into one point and going as a one. And that's the EST. In this case, we always pick the highest. LST is the other way around, so which is one line and becomes multiple, either two or more. In this scenario, that's the LST, and we are picking the lowest. Okay. Yep. This is a pretty long process, but you can try them. And even you can do some questions without the Hungry algorithm, because that's take a disaster for a long time. Unless they ask the algorithm, try any other method just to find the shortest path. And the next one. Yeah, so this is one of the things I noticed when I'm marking the papers as well. See, like critical path, the crashing. I think I did one full lesson even last week in the classes, pretty much critical crashing problems. So which is do a few more crashing, even that booklet you have more questions, try them more. Because try to get the highest marks for the crashing and the critical path. Let's pick some questions to start with. Can we try the first question to start with? So this one, what are we looking for? So cycled along every road once only. So road means edge. What do you call it? Just type the answers if you know it. You can go from there. At which intersection would she finish? Okay, so starting at the B. So starting at the B. And can you see B is the odd degree vertex? In this diagram, so this is, I'll write the number. So this is 3, and this is 2, and this is 2, and this is 4. This is 3, and this is 2. So what do you call this? We do have two odd. Anyone? What do you call this one? Eulerian trail, isn't it? Because we do have only two odd degree vertices. So two odd means the Eulerian trail. And if it is all even, then Eulerian circuit. So definitely if you start from the one of the odd, you should ending on the other odd. And that's why answer is D, Roger. That's good. Perfect. So you should start and end on the odd vertices. And then try the part B. Read, think. So involves cycling along every road in this network at least once. See, it doesn't say one, at least once. You can go multiple if needed, but you should go at least once. A team serve start and finish at the intersection A. But they want to go for the shortest path. Cool. Apart from the intersection A, through which intersections does the blue team pass more than once? So maybe draw the diagram. So starting from A, you should finishing on the A. Just draw it and see how do you draw it from starting from A. Make sure go through every road at least once. You can go multiple if needed. So maybe I can go from, I'll start from here. Go this way. Can try different methods, there's no issues. As long as you go through all the this is what I did, but you can do differently. So I did start from A and also I came back to A. They asked me apart from the point A, which other vertices you went through more than once? What are the answers by looking at the diagram? Even if you do differently, you get the same answers though. Anyone? So we went through the D, definitely, more times. You can see, and also we went through the F few times. That should be another one. Is that the B? Yes. So D, F, and the B. We went through more than once. Then how many kilometers does the blue team cycle? So all you have to do is add the path. Can you find the answers? Just add the ones we went through and get the answer. The 1 mark questions are not too bad. Let's type the answer once you get the answer. We'll see. Anyone? What's the answer? Add them up. If you go twice, make sure you add twice. 32 is the answer. Yes, it is 32. Perfect. So answer is 32 kilometers. There you go. And then read the part C. So red team allows the red team to ride along every road only once. So if it is every road only once, means what? It's a Eulerian trail, isn't it? And they ask him which 2 intersections does the bush path connect? So which one? We know what they are. Because if it is every road once only, which means the 2 odd vertices, which is the, before, which is the B and the D. That's an easy question, which is B and D. That's the only way you can do the road once only. Once only. Okay, so Pretty straightforward question. B and the D. And give the reason if you want. Just say those are the only two odd vertices. Perfect. So you try the number 2 as well. So read. So I have the checkpoint X, checkpoint 1. Let's read. Okay, they're asking what's the shortest path. You can just work it out by looking at the network. So X to Y, shortest path. Let's see. I'm waiting for the answer. You can work it out. You can put down the chat, so if it is not, I can tell you. Then you can try another one. So shortest from X to Y. So I can see one answer says 12. You can go lower than 12. Try again. I can see the 9. If you get the 9, which combination you got the 9? From where to where? Tell me the numbers you add up. Put on chat. To get the number 9, which ones you add up? From X to Y. I think we can do 9, isn't it? From X to Y. So I can see the answer 11. 11 sounds good. So which ones do you add up to get 11? That's that's a 4, 3 and the 4, isn't it? Yeah, 4, 3 and the 4, this part. See? So 4 plus 3 plus 4, which is 11. Perfect. And then part B. What mathematical term? What is it? Passing through every checkpoint once only. Every checkpoint means every vertex once only. Every vertex once only, which is the Hamiltonian path. Hamiltonian path. Then on the network diagram, draw the route for the X to be checkpoint Y and passes through every check. Yeah, so they asked them to draw the Hamiltonian path from X to Y. So which means you make sure go through every vertex once only. So you can skip the edges, that's fine. So every vertex once only. Every vertex once only. So starting from X, probably a few ways you can think of. But once only means you can't come back again. So which is, I might go through this path. Yep. Done. So in that way, I went through every vertex once only. I skip a lot of like the edges. It doesn't matter. As long as you go through all the vertices once only, you're done. And that's the Hamiltonian path. Cool. Let's move on because you got the technique. All right, question number 3. Some questions are easy. We can do a bit faster. So given the network, so given There's something missing, but doesn't matter. You can fix it. Then part A. Explain the meaning of the zero in the adjacency matrix. So zeros. Now this is a communication matrix. What the zero means? They're not allowed to communicate, or else there are no direct communication links between those people. Just mention that. Just say not allowed to communicate directly. Not allowed to communicate directly. And then find the F and the G. So be careful when you're reading the communication matrix. You're starting from the side to the top. Can you just figure out the answers for the F and the G? F and the G. Just put the chat if you get the answers. So F and G. F is 1, G is 0. Sounds good. Because you can read from here to there, which is from M to L. So M to L, that's 1, definitely. And this one is like from N to L. N to L, that's nothing. That's why it's 0. Perfect. All right, good. Try the number 4. There's one question for the minimum spanning tree. I'm not going to do too many. We'll do one. Minimum spanning tree. So starting with the smallest. What's the smallest here? Is that 2? It is 2, isn't it? So starting from the 2, I'll draw it. And the next smallest connecting for them is going to be 3. The next smallest, I think it's a 5, isn't it? Yeah, that's 2 5s. You can do this one. Also, you can do this one. And there's after that, there's 4 actually. That's 4. And then the next smallest is 5. And the next smallest is 8. Next smallest is 8. I think that's the diagram. Yep. And then simply add those values. Add those values. So that's the minimum spanning tree. Just put the answer. So it is C. Okay, that's C. Perfect. So answer for the fourth one is C. Cool. All right. It's simple. So we got the technique. And keep this for homework. And I'll write the answer for that, which is B. Double check them. And question number 6. We did this question recently. I think there was an error in that question. I think the answer is A. Yeah, check that out later. And number 7 is a minimum spanning tree. You can do that as a homework. Can we do just yeah, just try the number 8. Easy question, but just I feel like to go through it. Number 8. The number of Hamiltonian circuits involving all 5 vertices in the graph above is. So Hamiltonian cycle means you should start and end at the same point, and you should go through every vertex. And also you can't repeat the vertices. Can you try to draw one diagram or network to get the Hamiltonian circuit? I mean, that's called cycle. They call circuit sometimes, but Hamiltonian cycle. Let's get a try first and tell me how many, well, at least do one first, then you can see how many we can get after. So start from any vertex. Make sure go through every vertex once only, and you should come back to the same point. Come back to the same point. Give it a try. Royal, you get in there? Well, well. Does it make sense, the question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is the question make sense?
I just had one question.
Yeah. Go for it.
Can you repeat the vertex?
You can't repeat the verdicts. You must go through at least once. I mean, so just, yeah, you should go through once and you can't repeat the verdicts.
So then would it be 0?
It'll be 0. Perfect. So you can't draw because every time you reckon like this is the problem, isn't it? You should
Yeah.
go through it. Yeah. That's why answer is just 0. Perfect. Cool. All right. It is 0. Right? That's good. Let's try another question. I think this is also, yeah, this is a good question. Number 9. Number 9. So connected graph consists of 5 vertices and 4 edges. Can you just draw any diagram to reflect that? Just say like, 5 vertices and 4 edges. You can do maybe 2 diagrams. Then you can easily compare all these options. So 5 vertices, 4 edges. I think also you can use the formula in the V minus E plus F equals to 2. So as we know the vertices and the edges, you can find the faces. Sub it in. And good to keep it ready. So 5 minus 4 plus F equals to 2. So 1 plus F is equals to 2. F is equals to 1. See? So we should have one face. So definitely graph has more than one face. That's incorrect. That's gone. Confirmed. Then draw a diagram to get like 5 vertices and 4 edges. Can do differently. I can probably do one maybe here. See that? 4 edges, 5 vertices. You and I can do this one. I mean, the basic one. Is that true? Same. Then the graph is a planar graph. Is that true? How about the 2 graphs I did? Are they planar graphs? What are planar graphs? Planar means when you draw in the graph, think like you got the A, B, C, D as the vertices. You can't cross the edges like this. If you're crossing the edges, it can't be, right? So which is, it's a planar graph, looks like, according to my diagrams, they looks okay. But if you get something else, you can always double check it. All vertices are even degree. Is that true or false? I don't think so, isn't it? Because I can see the middle one in my case, this one is going to be 4. The rest of them are all odd degrees. And the other one, I got 1 and 1, and these are 2s. So which is incorrect. And fourth option, the sum of the degrees of the vertices is 8. Double check that. These are all 1s. So if you add them up, it's equals to 8. That's true. This equals to 8 as well. So it looks like they all add up to 8. The sum is equals to 8. Looks good for me. And then what's the last option? The graph cannot have a loop. You can't have a loop because then you can't have 5 vertices and the 4 edges. It has to be simple. So which is true as well. So only options I have is 3. So answer is C. And based on your graph, and check whether it's true or false. If any concerns, so I'm happy to have a look. So answer looks like 3 of them are correct. So double check, maybe draw the diagram. Cool. All right, let's move on if you get the technique. And also try the number 10. Okay, these questions sometimes get confused. So number 10 asking, which one of the following statements about critical path is true? Okay, so which one is true? There can be only one critical path in the project. No, they can have multiple. No issues. Sometimes you get the same numbers. So that's not true. Critical path always includes at least 2 activities. Doesn't have to be, can be one. And the C, critical path will always include the activity that takes the longest time to complete. Not really, isn't it? Not always, but there are some long activities on the critical path, but sometimes we're skipping the longest path. So it is doesn't have to be. Reducing the time of any activity on the critical path. Reducing the time, okay? Project will always reduce the minimum completion time of the project. Let's say the E as well. If there are no other changes, increasing the time of any activity on the critical path will always increase the completion time of a project. Which one is true? I mean, there's a little saying in here, so I believe this might be the right answer. But how about if you decrease? It's always changing the or reducing the completion time? Not really. Sometimes what happens if we decrease one activity and then maybe another path become the critical and then maybe the minimum time won't change some cases. I'm not saying every time, but this one is always true. If we increase it, and what's going to happen? Your EST changes, isn't it? If you change your value, EST changes. So as EST change, and then definitely the increase in the completion time. So increasing will increase. So be careful in the questions. If you increase the one activity time on the critical path, increase the total time. But by decreasing one of them, not always decreasing the minimum completion time. Maybe write a quick note somewhere, just write somewhere clearly on your bound book. Because these things they can even ask from the middle of the extended questions. Cool. So increasing, always going to increase. Decreasing, sometimes they will decrease, but not always. All right, perfect. Let's move on to another question. This is easy, but you need to draw multiple minimum trees differently. It's a good practice. Can you try the question, all of you, please? Because you can see multiple sixes in there, so which is you can do different parts. But the question asking is how many different minimum spanning trees are possible? Let you draw it. I'll do one. I'll start from one. Starting from the 6. So 6 to 6 is one of them. And then there's another 6. You can go this way. Another 6. You can go this way. You can go another 6 here. And there's one more to connect. See, this is one. This is one of them. So likewise, can you draw all the possible ones and tell me how many we can do? That's one way. So one of them is looks like I just draw here. It's something like this. That's one I just did. I'll try another one now. Maybe I can start from this one and do this and do that, and that. There's another one, so which is something like that. So 2 is done. And anything else? 1 is done, 2 is done. And also probably you can do this one. That's a different one, isn't it? Here. So you have something like this, that, and that. So 3 already. Is there anything else you notice? One, two, three. How about this one? See, these questions are multiple different ways of drawing it. Something like that. Apart from this one, I don't think we do have any, isn't it? Only 4 options. I don't think you can do 5. But check it out. Answer looks like 4. Is that clear? I mean, these are just long questions, but they can ask. These are all possible questions. Perfect. All right, let's move on. Answer is 4. What's this question? I think we should go through this. Maybe. We'll go through number 14, this question. I'll read the 14, all of you. And what do you have? A to I. How many vertices have degree of 2? I just write down the degree of 2 or all the degrees next to the vertices and see how many of them have 2. Miss anything out? No, that's right. So what's the answer? Type the answer. Anyone? Yeah, just put the answers in there. So how many? 3. Perfect. Sounds good. And then, what is the length in kilometers of the shortest path between B and the G? So asking from B to G, shortest. Can you just figure out a few paths and see what's the shortest you can get, all of you? Generally get in there? General. Can you hear me? Perfect. General, what happened, Dylan?
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's missing, isn't it?
It's always missing.
I hope he's like, he's getting there, but yeah,
Yeah,
getting close to exams. Did you meet him? I mean, not going to school nowadays, isn't it?
yeah. I didn't even meet him in school. I don't think he's coming.
Right. Okay. So did you finish school already? All done? No more,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
finish? All of you. Yeah. So excited to finish the exams?
No, I need more time.
More time. You got
Yeah.
more time. You got
I
like
have
3
5
days,
days. I have like 4 days.
4 days. Not even 4 days. Because 26th, 9th, you got the exams, right?
Yeah, 29.
So no 4 days, 3 days.
Thank you.
You can probably count the hours now, not the days. It's too boring to count the days, isn't it? All right, let's try the part B. Anyone? Okay, I can see one answer here. Let's see. So the shortest. You can go below 70. Try. So 70 is not the shortest. Try again. Yeah, that's a weird thing. Sometimes you think this is the lowest, and then if someone is there to tell you no, then we can try another one. Yeah. Let me see. There's another answer, which is 65. Can you tell me which way you went to get 65? Just put down the letters in order. So B. Just type the letters, which way you go from B to, as a B to A to I. Yeah, perfect. B to A to I to F to G. Perfect. That's good. Then the Mars wishes to begin at the E, allowing Eulerian trail. So in this question, how many odd vertices you have? We do have multiple, isn't it? Yeah. So starting from the E, where's the E? E. It's here. Then, at which home does he finish? What's the answer? I think I did a mistake. This is not 3, this is 4, isn't it? Yes, only have, yeah, perfect. So what's the answer? Just F, perfect. Just the F. The reason is that's the only other odd degree vertices. Cool, because has to be odd degree vertices to the other one. Because as you're only having 2 odd degree vertices, this is definitely Eulerian trail. Perfect. And the part D? In another day, once we begin home D, we'll visit every home once only. Every home once only means every vertex once only. I'll return to D. What do you call that? Hamiltonian cycle, isn't it? Hamiltonian cycle. And that's what they're asking here. But can you do the part D? That's Hamiltonian cycle. So starting from D, ending on D, must go through every vertex once only. Every vertex once only. Let's use a different color. Starting from D. All right. Probably can go around easily, isn't it? You can just go around here. See? All the way up to here. It should be fine. You need to go to D, isn't it? Yep. Here you go. And that's the Hamiltonian cycle. And they're asking to write it. Can you just write it in a way? Yeah, just go around. So answer is DCB. I go the same path. DCB, AI, HG, FE, D. There you go. So that's the answer. All good? That makes sense. All right, let's move on to not the next question. We're going for a bit of the directed graphs. All right, so we do have the table, and can we start doing the first question? First question. So what are we looking for? What's missing? Maybe for this whole question, can we draw the network, the activity network, activity diagram? So using the given data, it says what's the activity and the immediate predecessors. I'll give you like a minute just to draw it properly. Given the EST and LST, you can clearly clarify them, no issues. But can you draw the diagram? Yeah, can I draw it? I'll draw it somewhere. Can draw it here maybe on the top. Okay, you can try it first. I'll give you a minute just before I do it. Can you try it? The good practice. We need from A to I. So you need the A to start the B and the C. And also we need E as well. So a bit tricky. So use a pencil and draw it because this diagram you might need to change a few things when you do halfway through. A is 5. C is 4. And then we need D. Okay. These two. And then also we need D to start only H. It's not bad. Something like this. And then we need C for both of them, which is F and the G. And the F and the G. You don't need F for anything else, but we need the G to start the I. Yep. And then we can see H is your final. We don't need anything. Also, E is, you don't need anything. So you don't need the H, E, F, I. So literally, you can actually connect them together now, which is somewhere here. See, it makes sense. So I'll do it first. So this is your I, which is 2. And this is the F, which is 6. And I think we forgot the E. So E, we need the A. So from the A, start in the E, but then you don't need the E anywhere else. So literally, you can do it all the way to the end. That's the E. These some questions are a bit different. It's a diagram makes sense. Let's have a good look and compare it and see if it is makes sense. Is that clear, all of you? And then, I mean, I didn't read the questions, what they're really asking. So even I can see like E and F, they're looking for critical path as well. How about if we just try to fill up the EST and LST as a practice, yeah, at the same time. So complete the EST and LST. If any question, just ask me. So we'll go through it. I think you know how to fill up the EST and LST, yeah? If I miss anything? No, that's all we need. All right, let's put the numbers. At the beginning, that's 0. And this is 5. And 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 2 is 13. And then I'll stop there. And the next one is 5 plus 4 is 9. And then also you can do 9 plus 1 is 10. And then you can see at the finishing line, there are 4 things that are connected. So one of them is 13 plus 3, which is 16. Other one is 5 plus 7, which is 12. And then 9 plus 6 is 15. The last one is 10 plus 2 is 12. We pick the 16, and that's the largest. Cool. So you got the largest. So ESTs are done. And then try the LST. So go backwards, which is starting from 16. And then you can do the 16 minus 2, which is 14. And then also you can do 16 minus 3, which is 13. No issues with that. Also 13 minus 2 is 11. So nothing wrong with up to there. And then you should consider at this point. Why? There are 2, which is F and the G are coming backwards, which is what you have. 16 minus 6 is 10. And what's the other one? 14 minus 1 is 13. So which one do we pick? Fourteen minus 1 is 13. And the other one is 16 minus 6 is 10. So we pick the, was it 10? Let's pick the, yeah, it's 10, isn't it? Tell me if I do any mistake. If I miss anything out, just let me know before I go further. But double check if I do everything right. That's 14 and 9 and then 16. That's fine. Perfect. And then to do this point, we need again, how many lines are connecting? 3 lines are connecting. So to do that, we had to go from 11 minus 6 is 5. And then 16 minus 7 is 9. And 10 minus 4 is 6. Which is we just need the 5, right? There you go. And then 0. Is that true, all of you? And then, can you tell me what's your critical path as well at the same time? Can someone type the critical path by looking at it? Just put in the chat. So what's the critical path? ABDH sounds good. You can see the flow times are 0. So A, B, D, and the H. Perfect. Let's go back to the question now. We got all the numbers. Let's see. What is the least number of activities that must be completed before the activity F? Before doing the F, what need to be completed? Just look at the whole diagram. To complete the F, what do you need beforehand? Before the F, we need to complete the C. But to complete the C, we need A. So literally, we need A and the C, right? We need the A and C. Does that make sense, all of you? We need the A and the C. And the part B. What is the earliest starting time for the activity F? I think it's missing, but we can find it now. So what's the value? What's the EST? Which is? For the chat. You can see from the diagram. I want to see the answers from all of you. What's EST for the F? 9. Perfect. And then write down the activities that must be completed before activity G can commence. What's the answer? That's G. G is, I think, same as before, isn't it? To complete the G, you have to complete the A and the C again. So just say A and the C. So A and C. Part D. What is the flow time for activity G? G. What's the flow time for activity G? -14 -1 is 13. Yeah, so don't worry about this point because this particular point, this is a confusion sometimes. We got this particular one as a LST from the branch F, isn't it? So I'll redraw a box or 2 boxes only for the G. EST won't change. EST is 9. But from the branch G, how do you find the LST? It was 14 here. And take away 1. What's the answer? 13. Is that true? So based on these two numbers, find the float. It's about the 9 and the 10. It's about the 9 and the 13. So what's the float then? 13, take away 9. The answer is 4 hours, 4 minutes. Is that clear, all of you? Because if they ask the individual float times, you should consider that particular point. Any questions with it? Also, so answer is 4 minutes. And then let's try the E. What is the shortest time in minutes in which this construction, that's the shortest time. What is it? Was it 16? Yeah, so completion time, which is 16. 16 minutes. And write the critical path, we already got that, which is the ABDH. Any questions with it? Does it make sense? All the techniques we did? I mean, these are very common questions. I mean, you will get definitely one of these questions and then maybe add on crashing as well. So that's the technique. All right, perfect. I'm going to move on to maybe another question. We will try. Let's see. Question number 6, which is this one. I'll let you do it. Can you find all the EST, LST just to get the idea? All right. So the question asking EST, but just draw the label everything. That's the whole idea. All right, so start with the zeros. Five. You do it by yourself and just double check the numbers. That's the best way to clarify things. And if any mistakes, just have a look and see. Because at this stage, you should be able to fill up the EST and LST without any single mistake. You can't have mistakes in this one at this stage. Okay. If not, just need to practice a bit more questions to make sure when you fill in the EST, LST, no mistakes at all. Because rest, sometimes we get mistakes with the crashing. That's a different story. But if you do a mistake here, you won't get answers for crashing anyway. All right, let's see now. Just type the answers if you know them. So the part A, determine the earliest starting time for the F. What's the EST for F? Just put the answer. You can see them in the diagram anyway. I'll see some answers before I write the answer. Type it in. Anyone? Anyone? What's the EST for activity F? Simon, what's the answer? That's obvious one, eh? Which is
7.
7. You can see from the diagram, eh? Perfect. Which is EST at the 7. The F means you're looking at this number, 7. And then the minimum time in which the all 13 activities can be complete 21. So we know that. We found that. That confirmed. And then what is the latest starting time for the activity L? As you think, get the answer, then we'll double check it. So ask him for the LST for L. Let's see where's the L. L is here. 21. Let me double check as well. 21 taken with 3 becomes 18. It is 18, right? It is 18. Because to find the LST, you should go from finish line on this part backwards, which is 21, take away 3, which is 18. And that's going to be the LST for the activity L. Because we got 10 there because of the H, because we picked the lowest. But if they only ask you individual ones, so just pick the individual ones. So 21, take away 3. Answer is 18, so 18 hours. Is that clear, all of you? Now, what is the float time of activity J? Where's activity J? At this point. That's the easy one. So it's only one is connecting as a j, which is simply 13 minus 11, as is 2 hours. Is that clear? Any questions to ask anyone? Just to clarify anything or like for this particular section? Because networks is the one I can see sometimes with, doing with tricky answers for some reason. Okay, so if you're done with that, I want all of you to start doing this question. Yes. But this is going to go towards the crashing as well at the end. Okay. First of all, without doing anything, just do the EST and LST. Get the full diagram sorted. There's a lot of information in there, so make sure don't miss any. Get the answers and double check if you get the same answer. Give like another minute or two just to make sure you get the same. If any mistakes in my one, just let me know. All good. Let's see now. We got the EST and LST values. Now, which of the 13 activities must be completed before the activity J can begin? So where's the J? Where's the J? What's the critical path anyway? While looking at this one, you can fill that up in first. Anyone just put the chat critical path for this one while looking at it? Yep, I can see it, but just type it in. I want to see. Look at the answer. Critical path. B, E, F, J, M. Sounds good. I'll write that down. So B, E, F, J, M. Perfect. So looking at that part, so B, E, F, J, M. Perfect. Then, which of the 13 activities must be completed before the J? So where's the J? J is somewhere there. So what are they? Need to be completed before J. To start the J, what do you need? You can just go backtracking it. To start the J, we need the F and the H, definitely. And then to start the F, we need the D and the E. To start the H, we need the G. And then what else we need? And then also need the A, B as well. You miss anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, how many? 7 in there. Anything else? Or is that all? Double check. Anything else we need to start the J, apart from the ones I just wrote? See if anything I missed out. That looks like it. That's all, because that's all we need to start the J. And then, what is the minimum number of days it will take to complete the project, which is, we know the answer, 26. So 26 days. 26 days. And now part D. What is the latest starting time for activity G? So asking the LST for G. I'm waiting for the answers. So put some answers down, anyone? Then we can double check. So LST for the G. I'll keep the diagram here. So you can see the G. What's the LST for G? If anyone knows the answer, just put on the chat so we can double check. I'm waiting for the answer, so I'll just double check anyway, meantime. LST. Look at the answer. Anyone? Maybe I'll ask. Nalin, what do you think? Sawinder, what do you think? LST. Sawinder, get in there. Or are you trying? Or
Yes, sir.
just try then. Okay, cool. So looking for the LST for G. And the thing is, like, G is not on the critical path. So latest starting time for that. Let me see. So let's see some answers. So I'll wait for it. Bit of thinking. So G is not critical, but it's the starting good an answer. Sandhu, so you said the answers. So tell me the way you think to get your answer. Then you can analyze it from there. So tell me the logical way you got the answer.
I went backwards from
From
M.
M. Okay. So what happens? So 1, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And
to J.
to J. So we went this way. Yes. And which is 5.
And then H.
H. You went this way, which is 6.
And
then
G.
which is 8. So this total becomes, what's the answer? 12. Is it 20? 20, isn't it? So total for this one is 20. And then the reason is as your G's, this answer is correct, that's good. So as the G is not on the critical path, you're just checking how much you can delay the G from the end. So total time is 26. And if you take away this, so what's the answer? It's going to be 6 days. So you can delay the activity by 6 days. But if your G is on critical path, then you can just calculate by looking at the EST and the LST, right? So, but this is a different scenario because G can be delayed for some reason because that's not on the critical path. So it's a good way to do it by backtracking. Cool. So answer is 6 days. Perfect. Answer is 6 days. So note that down. Then there's, I think, 2 more sections in the question. What else are you looking for? Let's go to that. I'll just write the answer. So 6 days. Let's try the next question. Read first, then we'll analyze it. So you want to do the minimum completion time. They're asking what is the minimum number of days that the project will now take. So let's see which ones they're talking about. It says I for 120 per day. Is the I on the critical path? I don't think so, isn't it? So nothing to worry about I. What's the other one we have? B. So B can be delayed up to 3 days. So B is in critical path. Is that true? Yes, it is. B is not critical path, so you definitely look into the B. So you can don't worry about the I at this stage. But B, definitely. And then let's see where's the B now. So we want to see how many days you can reduce the B by. You know the technique, right? So where's the B? Let's see where's the B. Okay, so B is connecting to that particular point. So B is connecting to that particular point. Now, can B be delayed? Can we like reduce the B, and is the critical path going to be changed? I think the best way we can check is just check the value at this particular point first. Again, how do you get that point? 14 plus 6, I'll write somewhere there. 14 plus 6 is 20. And also the other branch, we get the 12 plus 6, which is 18. So at this stage, it looks like you can reduce the B by 2 in a way. And how about if we didn't check this point actually? We check this point as well. How about that point? 6 plus 7, which is 13. And 4 plus 10, which is 4. You can't do much, isn't it? Only we can reduce by 1. Why? Because then we can make this point a 13. Because you can't go below than 13. The other branch, which is the D feeding the 13. Is that clear? And that's the reason At that particular point, you can only reduce the b by 1 to make it 13. So answer is simply b can be reduced by only 1 day. So how much is it? So I'm asking how many days. So which is literally 26 days becomes 25. So 26 take away 25 becomes just 1 day. Cool. So answer is just 1 day. Does that make sense, all of you? I think I did more towards that one last week also in the lesson. Because we're checking how much you can reduce to be comfortable reduce. Otherwise, if you go less than that, you're spending money on it, but no, it's not going to change the completion time. Cool. All right. So that's why only changing the b by 1. Cool. So that's done. There's another section. Can you read the part 2? How much will Darren save by employing an extra worker or workers? How much he will save? There's some description on the top. Just read clearly. It says about $1,000. $850. That sounds good. Can you tell me the way you approach, please? You can talk around. That's fine. Yeah, easy. Otherwise, if you chat on it, it's not going to work. Yeah.
Yeah, since it was 26 days,
Exactly. At the beginning, 26 days. Yes.
yeah, and it's
So we can see, but this employee going to work only 24. See, every day over 24 days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And which is definitely that's going to be 2 extra days. Does that make sense? Which is that's the reason you had the $1,000, but it's going to be 2 extra days. So supposed to pay $2,000. But then what happened? But because of this particular worker you hired, can reduce the whole process by how many days? Only 1 day. He's supposed to complete within 26 days, but because of this whole process we did here, and then it becomes how many days? 25 days. So to make it 25 days, how much you spend? $1,000 for that extra day, and then $150 for that one person for the 1 day. So altogether, how much? $1,150. And then you can take away then what's the answer? $850. Rethink, all of you. Answer $850. Well done. Read the question again. It's a good question. Something to think. I mean, these are all possible questions in the exam. Sorry, does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Nalin, is that clear? It's a trick question, but when you read again, maybe redo the question, you'll be fine. Okay. I mean, that's the whole reason of doing all the different questions in the lesson. So yeah, so you can see the crashing questions. Sometimes they're straightforward, sometimes a bit of thinking. So maybe you find your own way, like just see like which ones are the super tricky questions. Make the list of them, maybe cut and paste to one place, and maybe keep trying the same questions more than 2 times, maybe 3 times. It doesn't matter. Exactly same question. Doesn't have to be new questions. Because when I was studying, I used to try some questions 3 times until I really get the concept. But that's fine. As long as you get it, you get it. Very simple. It doesn't have to be like, every time I need a new question, try the method. No, really. Maybe give maybe 2 or 3 days, and try the same question again and see if you understand. Sometimes if you do second time or third time, you actually put more thinking towards it. If you find another easy way, oh, hang on, if I think this way, it might be easier. And that's how we learn. So if you think anything harder, understand it first as you think, try again and see if you can do it and try one more time. And then you actually absorb the concepts well. I think I'm going to leave the questions here. Rest of them, you can try them. And then let's go. There are a lot of questions in there, but yeah, as I said, prioritize your work and go through all the techniques. And also I explained this as well yesterday. Just have a quick read what's in there. So it is, don't rush into the answers as the questions, even though the questions are easy, because that's a very common thing, especially I explained this in the methods, but this is more relevant to the general maths. Because we always think our general maths is sort of like, oh, that's easier than the others. And that's the reason the questions are try to make it a bit tricky. Like they make every possible thing to not to give you the mark. Either like they're asking certain decimal places or including different words to make it not or like won't sort of question. So somehow the easiest looking questions are the ones you get more mistakes. So that's why if you think the question is easy, if you know what to do, then just stop there. I might read this again. It might be tricky sort of feeling. Yeah. And then the next one. Give yourself enough time to read the full paper, which is, I'm talking about the reading time. And at the beginning, we discussed about it. So try to keep the proper gaps or maybe divide into 3 sections, as I mentioned. But reading time must be read. I know some of them think, oh, I'll maybe try 3 questions fully. It's okay, but then you won't get enough reading time when you're doing the paper. So reading time maybe just allocate to understand and read the full paper, understand the nature. Then example, maybe all the trial exams you do, maybe you starting with the data, I don't know, maybe do networks afterwards, whatever the plan. But who knows, maybe all the papers are fine except the weaker paper. Maybe you realize that data question is a super hard question than all the other years. Change the order. So make sure always change according to the exam. So don't, if you realize data question doesn't make any sense, it can happen. Just leave it. Do the financial, do the matrices, networks, come back to the data. That's fine. So don't really want to stick in the like, same sort of pattern. Always adjust the situation and then do the exam. Yeah. So that's why when you're doing the trial exams, try these techniques and see, what if I change my order? What if I start from the networks today? Try it. And maybe worthwhile to try that. Then like you can find the final way to do the exam. Because you can't do trials in the actual exam, isn't it? Then I explained about the self-assess in the trial exams. And yep, so you did all the exams. That's not a big deal. And this is another important thing. Neatness. So I know at the very end, if you're running low with time, you're rushing it. That's fine when you're running like weirdly. That's no issues. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about throughout the exam. Like, when you're writing the exam paper, make sure keep every possible way to keep it neat and clear. And also I explained yesterday more towards the paper. Some questions, imagine this is your question, and then you have the space, maybe only 4 lines you have. Then you have the next question. Then you realize, oh, hang on, to work this out, you need more space. 4 lines are not enough. So if you realize that early enough, just divide your space into maybe 3 sections, maybe 4 sections. Then you just keep working on it. In that way, even when someone mark your paper, it's so much clearer. Otherwise, what's going to usually happen, I know it's like, maybe that's the space of writing. You write here, then realize, oh, hang on, no space. Then you write somewhere here, write somewhere there, write there. That's not the way. So try to keep every possible step to keep it neat. I mean, there are certain scenarios. Maybe if you done it wrong, you'd cut that off and redo it. That's fine. But try to keep every possible way to keep it neat. And also the final answers. Once you get the final answer, so make sure maybe highlight it. Just make sure maybe this is your answer. Just put a box around it. This is your final answer. And that makes easier for the examiner to mark, because when they're marking the papers, what's going to happen? Like, they're in rush as well. They get bunch of papers, they're on time as well. They need to mark as much as papers possible, fastest way. And that's how they're getting paid. Yeah. So if you make their life easier, and when they're marking a paper, they're in a good mood as well. Like if they say, oh, this is a really nice paper, done everything nicely, actually make my life easier. Then based on that, and there are certain things they lightly checking, if that makes sense. So it's like, I'm not talking about like you get super 10 marks extra, and you might get 1 or 2, maybe 3 marks in a way because you did everything nicely and neatly. And see, like those are little things you're going to try, because if you make their life easier, and then there's something in return in a way. Yeah. Then next one, outside the exam room, which is like when you get into the exam earlier, example, like probably exam is at 9 o'clock, be there at least by 8:30. So just keep, keep to yourself, keep quiet, or maybe you can revise something if you really want. My recommendation is don't do anything in a way. Because if you look anything at that moment, if you talk to someone at that moment, and maybe that person will say, okay, maybe he did revise this one. Do you know how to do this one? Then you feel like you're not confident enough for the exam. Everything you did so far, and everything that you know at that stage. So if we learn something new for that particular moment, won't help you at all. Only thing happen is you're stressing out. Because you don't know how to approach them properly. You think, oh, maybe what if I get this question again? What's happened to me? So in that way, you're not learning anything, you're stressing out. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've done something until the last night before the exam, and that's enough for the exam. Yeah. And sometimes it happens like what you call the mind blank in the exam, isn't it? So which is at that moment you feel like, oh, you forgot everything. Oh, I don't know how to approach. I have done tens of hundreds of these questions, but now I can't do it today. It happens. I mean, if you feel that, just maybe you close your eyes for a moment, or maybe just forget about that question for the time being, go to something else, come back to it. It only happens for a certain moment, like probably a minute or two. But don't stress out in that way. Like, it happens, and then everything back to normal after a few minutes. It's not a big deal. So it's just the exam. And yeah, and also one more thing to address about the exams. Once you finish the exams, don't talk about it. No point. Because sometimes we compare the answers, we check out what do we get for this one, and what are you expecting by doing that? What are you expecting? Can you go back and correct your mistakes? You can't. It just only thing remains with you is, rather than the happiness, you feel bad. Maybe a certain question or two, you know exactly what to do, you did a silly mistake. And then based on that, and then you always thinking about that, and then that affects your other exams, upcoming exams. That's why, like always, if you done it, you done it. You can't go back and change. If you can change, that's okay to look for it. If you really want to compare the answers or check your marks beforehand, wait until you finish all of the exams. Maybe finishing everything by 15th of November. That's fine. Next day, compare everything. Compare the answers if you want, compare with the friends, that's fine. But until then, there's no point of doing it. That's why, like, keep to everything yourself, and that's how building up your confidence. Because you need to do anything to put down your confidence. And that's one of the important things. And that's why I always say, like, when you're getting close to the exams, I don't want you to try super hard questions if you don't know how to do it. Because that's not helping at all. You just put yourself down. You feel like, hang on, I did like the methods or general maths for like, past 2 years. I can't do a question. And that's not doing good for you at all. Unless you have the answers with you, unless you've done that before, do them. If you realize if you don't have the answers with you, don't try them. Because that's a recommendation. But I mean, that feel like you just need to boost your confidence rather than losing the confidence. Cool. I think that's pretty much all about it. And yeah, keep going whatever you do and stick with the plan, and then plan ahead. I think you got the exams coming on. It's a Tuesday, isn't it? Most of you doing the English, which is on the 29th. But we do have the classes as usual on the Saturday, Sunday, and then week after as well. When is general exam? Was that on the first on the 1st of November? Other one is on the 4th. Is that true? So 1st and the 4th, isn't it? Yeah. So that's why we're gonna do the this weekend, and also I'm gonna do next weekend as well. That's during the exam time, but yeah, I prefer. I was planning to stop the classes this weekend, but I feel like why not? Can go for another week, and I'll do more questions towards the extended on that week. Okay. Until then, and I think we're gonna meet up most of you beforehand. But other than that, all the best for the year 12 exams, eh? And we'll catch up afterwards. Okay. Have a wonderful day, and catch you next time. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amala.
No worries. All good.
Oh, thank you.
No worries. All good.
See ya.
Yeah. Miriam, I'll send you the answers.